Hi, for indicator 2.1, Warren Middle School, when the survey was completed, determined that this was an area of strength for us. And we had 22 staff members surveyed and 2 administrators. The district opted not to survey parents and students due to thinking that they would not really fully understand the components. So we just went with our staff and administrator surveys. And out of the surveys for 2.1, administrators surveyed felt that we had a really good strength of 2.1 because we did feel like we had the model of instruction, which was at a 4, being our highest areas. Teachers have professional development, and we could describe the instructional model. A 3 was given for the fact that limiting new initiatives. Many of the new initiatives that are coming down to us was pushed down by the state, like a new reading initiative that we have was pushed out through the state. A new math initiative is pushed out through the state. So with the new initiatives, weren't so much as district led as they are building as state led. And also the school has a common language for talking about teaching and instruction. We did kind of deem that as a 2 because at that time when the surveys were completed, the staff had not been trained as well as they needed to be in that. But since then, training has occurred. And then as far as the staff, the highs that teachers had professional development and opportunities to learn about our new model. And the teachers felt they had a good common language. So that was a little discrepancy there that we had to have conversation about. The other areas, the teachers were well above 3 points on that with very small standard deviations in all areas. So with that, we did feel very strong about our 2.1 overall. The administrators was a 3.38 with a standard deviation of 7.74. And for teachers, it was a 3.68 with a standard deviation of a 0.30. So in this area, since we did determine that it was an area of strength, you will find as our lagging data to show the district-wide instructional model and the different components of how we have that broken out into each component of the instructional model. And you are also seeing our evidence that those components of the instructional model are broken down even more into deeper components, even to the point of the strategy. So in one document, we have the instructional model just in the core areas, the main focus areas. Then each one of those areas are broken down into or allow teachers to go deeper. So let's say, for instance, for direct instruction, we have the components beeped out on direct instruction, and then under there are really specific strategies that they can use to have effective and direct instruction. And then from there, those we have it linked to the art and science of teaching, to where they can look down and get a description of each one of those components. And so how this year we did a really good job of providing PD in August to all of our staff. The district, we went around and did rotations through each building, and administrators picked a certain area to discuss. And then from there, we went through and went deeper at our buildings on the deeper levels of those instructional models. And then we have monthly focus areas that when we walk through, we are looking at specific areas of the instructional model. We have done building relationships and rules and procedures earlier in the year. Now we're on direct instruction. So the components that we should see in there. Additionally, you will find in our evidence we have even gone as far as to create an effective teacher model with our student teachers. And for there, we pulled out 4 areas and then put components under those for our teachers for effective teaching. Additionally, as far as our lagging indicated data, you will also find effective teacher tier. We're tier 1, 2, and 3 teachers, where we work with teachers, and we in my building at middle school, we had teachers tier themselves. And then once they tiered those shifts at the beginning of the years, we will review that in January and see if the evidence that we have gathered over the year align with that, and if teachers need to adjust their tiers. We will continue to conduct classroom walkthroughs with the focus area of the instructional model to collect evidence to make sure that we are effective in implementing the instructional model and where teachers need support in order to provide professional development. Additionally, we will continue to discuss these instructional model and the findings of the walkthroughs in our professional learning communities that teachers are meeting. We meet 1 week in content and 1 week in grade level. And that gives us the opportunity to discuss instructional model, what we're seeing, what we're finding, and what that data tells us. One thing that you will probably not see in our evidence that we do have is that it is all together in one place that teachers can have. We have a hub that teachers can go through and access that information at any time, and they know that we want to see their focus areas. Like each teacher determined a focus area for themselves on the instructional model, and that's what their PGP plan is based on. And then from there, we should see different evidences in monitoring teachers on where they are in that model. So that's our plans with 2.1, our district instructional model. I feel really good in saying that that's strength for us. That is conversations we can have in our building around the instructional model and helping teachers know where to go and what resources to access to make sure that they're effective in their areas.